let's settle down. So we'll be starting off with the business session for today. I request VPPR to make the announcement regarding newsletter.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, especially the members. As you all know, the quarterly newsletter is due at the end of March, and today was the supposed last day for accepting articles. And due to request by a few members, I'll be accepting articles in a couple more days. Until Wednesday, you have time. The theme for the newsletter is fight or flight. So it's all about the difficult situations you faced and the decision that you have to make when you are faced with such situations. I request the members to contribute articles in large numbers. The details will be once again shared on WhatsApp. Over to the president.
Thank you.
Can I add a point here?
Yes.
This is more of a suggestion. You may have some kind of a pressure to get the articles before the whatever time you have set. In that case, you can take the speeches, best speeches for the term, for this month, whatever has taken place, and make some kind of editing on that, and then put that as a article there. For example, I'm giving one. Last time she gave one speech in which she talked about the swimming situation. Flight that can be used as a flight or fight situation. She was fighting on one side with the coach, trying to fly away. So that can be used as a basis. You can edit it and take over from there. These are the options that I'm trying to impress upon. So that how to beat the deadline pressure for an editor, this comes as a suggestion. So that I thought I should put it across. Sometimes you have to do without, once you give the choice to the members, you have to go ahead with the actual job. In that case, you have to go all alone. That's one of the elements of leadership. Architecture or there's a Rabindranath Tagore. That's it.
So the next update, I would like to request VPN to make the membership.
You can be seated.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. The membership renewal for the next term is open. That is from April to September. So I would kindly request all the members to renew at the earliest to have a successful term. The deadline for the same is 25th March 2023. After the payment, kindly send the screenshot of the transaction ID to me and Toastmaster Sai Snehal personally. And one more thing, on this 13th March, there was a payment made by Praveen Kumar, account number ending with 753. So they had renewed the amount, but then we don't know who is that Praveen Kumar. So
no, is it from? My name is Veerabhadrappa. I told my assistant to send the money. His name is Pavani.
Fantastic, sir. At least 1 week he has, and we have also struggled to find out that person. And he has put something.
I have sent the message to this. He is working in Meccan. Sandeep, I said.
You have put perhaps, but without naming who is that Praveen Kumar on whose behalf he is paying. It's not was not linked. Even today, that Praveen, we discussed, and I told him to announce it in the meeting so that we took a chance between us. Right, you got the answer?
yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause.
The next update is on behalf of Vice President of Education. So next week we're going to have an education session from DTM Nagaraj Rao. So for next week, table topic master has been booked by Toastmasters Suprabha. Remaining all roles are open. There won't be any speeches. So, and last update, our area director is present in our meeting today for his area director report. And you'll be wondering why we have given ballots so early. So that as soon as the speaker is done, you can write it down rather than struggling at the end. So that's all from business session. Sergeant, you can take it.
A very good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and their esteemed guests present here. How many of us have heard these words called turning point in our life? As soon as we enter high school, people are like science or commerce. If you score well in your 10th grade, it is science. If you don't, then commerce. As soon as this, after you finish, you would have just taken a breath and you would have finished your PU. People are like, turning point. What are you going to choose? For science students, if they study well, first citizen of the country, Pakka doctor. If not, then there's always an option called engineer. And if you're a commerce student, if you study well, BCom with CA. If you don't, just take BCom and be calm. And immediately after this, there'll be like turning point. Join a job. And it doesn't stop here. People come, they're like, turning point, get married. I don't understand this turning point. What is turning after all? We often think about what people are thinking, what society is thinking. We have to just take a chance, break the stereotype, and we will not regret in the future. Breaking stereotype is cool, but not breaking rules. A basic rule of Toastmasters is that keeping your phones on silent mode. I request you all to keep your phones on silent mode, and I will be giving 10 seconds to do so. There's one person in this room who loves to break stereotypes, and he inspires us also to break one. And he is a gentleman who has completed his BCom and he's currently working in PwC. So please help me welcome the President Toastmaster Gaurav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharanye, for the kind words, gentlemen. Okay. So, very good evening to all the Toastmasters and dear guests. So, we have two guests in our meeting today. So, I request you to please introduce yourself.
My name is Kirtana, and I'm into education, and I've been invited.
Welcome to us.
Hi, my name is Ashutosh. This is my third time at Mekon.
I hope you become a member soon.
Yeah.
So next I'll be jumping off with the minutes of the meeting of 1204. So I request Toastmaster Pavani to read out the MOI.
A very good evening everyone. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1204 held on 13th of March 2023. Theme fictional or real. Word of the week, gumption. The business session started at 6:26 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Gaurav. In the business session, the following points were addressed. Vice President Public Relation Toastmaster Shivaprasad requested the members to contribute articles to the quarterly newsletter theme Fight or Flight. The articles need to be submitted by the 20th of March 2023. Vice President Membership Toastmaster Ujwal requested the members to renew their membership fees of Rs 4,200 for the upcoming term by 25th of March 2023 by sending the payment confirmation to Toastmaster Ujwal and Associate Treasurer Toastmaster Sai Snehal. Vice President Education Toastmaster Sanjana mentioned that all other roles apart from the Master of Ceremonies were open for the next meeting. Interested members are requested to contact her for the same. She also mentioned that there will be an educational session on the topic of voice modulation by TTM Nagaraja Rao on the 27th of March 2023. The regular meeting started at 6:29 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Sharanye started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Gaurav. President Toastmaster Gaurav opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Jayanti. Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Jayanti spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer Toastmaster Raja, Accounter Toastmaster Ujwal, Grammarian Toastmaster Sharanye, PP Evaluator Toastmaster Prashant. The prepared speech session had the following speeches. Speaker 1 Toastmaster Suprabha, attempting level 1 project 3 evaluated by Toastmaster Pavani. Speaker 2 Toastmaster Ajay, attempting level 1 project 3 evaluated by Toastmaster Lakshmi. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Sanjana and had 14 speakers in total. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. The new members Toastmaster Ritik and Toastmaster Sindhushree were inducted by DTM K Prabhakara. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Ajay, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Lakshmi, Best Table Topic Speaker Toastmaster Sai Snehal, Best Role Taker Tapji Toastmaster Raja, Best Role Taker MTG Toastmaster Jayanti and Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. The President closed the meeting at 8:44 p.m. which was followed by the National Anthem. Thank Thank you, and back to you, President.
Is there any changes in the MOM? If not, I open meeting number 1205. We have all been witnessed stereotypes once in our lifetime. Either you have judged someone or you would have been judged by someone else. In my life, I have tried so many weird things and I have been judged left and right from so many people. So I like to name few stereotypes which I have been facing in my life. Okay? So from my childhood, I love my hair. Okay? I take care of my hair like my baby. So I have a routine for my hair. I ensure that I condition my hair, apply conditioner, I apply oil on time. I do so many things, and many people say that why are you acting like a girl? You know, why do you have such routines to take care of hair? It's just hair. You know? I'm like, yeah, just hair will fall off if you don't take care after 20 years. So that's a different story. So I have been judged left and right saying that why do you act like a girl? Why do you take care of your hair like a girl? And there have been so many, like even I have few skincare routines as well. Like I apply moisturizer after taking bath. I apply sunscreen lotion when I'm stepping out. And people say like, why do you do so much things like you're acting like a girl? Like who defines that a girl is supposed to do that and a guy is not supposed to do that? And there are so many other stereotypes which I have witnessed so many times. Like for example, if I see a girl riding a bike, maybe a Royal Enfield, I'm like, oh, a girl. How is she able to manage that bike? Was it very heavy for her to drive? I'm like, man, come on, man. Like it's okay for a girl to ride a bike. And I support so many women who ride a bike. I've seen so many rallies where a woman has ridden a bike. And even when I wanted to buy my first bike, I was a very big fan of Royal Enfield. So I was telling my friends that, I booked Royal Enfield. They're like, you're so thin, now you're able to manage it. Will you be able to remove it from the parking? Will your leg reach the ground? All these kinds of comments I've heard. But once I got my Royal Enfield, once I, rode it in front of them, driven it in front of them, then I realized that, size doesn't matter. So even when it comes to even getting ready on time, when I have to go out somewhere, I start, maybe I have to leave my home at 6 o'clock. I start getting ready at 5 o'clock. I take 1 hour to get ready. So even my mother says like, I have got ready on time. What is taking so long for you to get ready? Why are you acting like a girl? I'm like, come on man, stop making these stereotypes, stop saying stereotypes, comments that doesn't make any sense, to be frank. Like, who are we to judge how a guy should be? Who are we to judge how a girl should be? Like, if you remember one of my speeches which I gave, whom do we call a gentleman? In that I told, if you want to break stereotypes, or if you want to remove stereotype entirely, it's right now. So if you want to ensure that the future generations don't follow these stereotypes, don't tell these stereotypes or don't pass over these stereotypes to the future generation. And there is one way to do so. So when I got my first tattoo, I have 5 tattoos on my body. And when I got my first tattoo, that time tattoos were not that famous. So people used to think that I am a very negative guy because I have a tattoo on my body. They used to judge left and right saying he's not a good guy just because I have a tattoo. Now many people have tattoos, that stereotype is broken. So how it got broken is as and when people started getting more tattoos, it became common. So the other way to break a stereotype is do it more. The more you do it, it becomes more common, and that is how we break a stereotype, according to my perspective. So now I'd like to introduce the MC for today. She is an aviation student from Jain deemed to be university. Her hobbies include dancing, reading, and playing chess. And she is a trained Bharatanatyam dancer. So with a huge round of applause, please help me welcome Toastmasters Suprabha.
A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome all of you to the Toastmasters Club. From the examples of Sergeant at Arms and the President, it has
in order to break a stereotype, you have to speak up. You have to voice out your opinion strongly. And you have to realize that your voice matters. And there was one such person who realized the need for people to speak up. And that is none other than Ralph C. Smedley, who started a non-profit organization called Toastmasters in the year 1924 at YMCA Santa Ana, California. And I can proudly say that our club, that is the Mekong Communication Club, is one of them, which was started in the year 1998. The purpose of this club is to help its members improve their public speaking, communication, and leadership skills. For the benefit of guests, I would like to explain the structure of the meeting. The meeting is divided into 3 parts. The first session is the prepared speech session, where members will be delivering their speech according to the pathways or the projects that they have chosen. The second is the table topic session, where members will practice speaking and thinking on their feet. Table topic master will call upon the respective speakers randomly, and they will have to talk on the subject for about 1 to 2 minutes in an impromptu manner. And the third session, and the most important session, is the evaluation session, where the aspects and the procedures of the meeting will be evaluated and feedback will be given. To have a successful meeting, we will be needing a few supportive pillars known as role takers. As and when I call upon the respective role takers, I request them to give a brief about their role for the better understanding of everyone. First up, we have the timer, Toastmaster Ujwal.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. In the 18th century, flying in an aircraft seemed impossible. During the early 19th century, India getting independence was seen impossible. In the early 20th century, communicating through touchscreens seemed impossible. But everything was possible as time flew and as technology improved. The 19th era is not as the same as 20th era. The 20th era is not as the same as 21st era. Fellow Toastmasters, time passes even if you pass or fail in the exam of life. So it's left to you all to how to utilize each and every second. As a timer for today, I'll be noting down the time taken by each speakers and the role takers of today's meeting. For the prepared speech session, I'll be showing the green card. Just a second. I'll be showing the green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes. For the table topic session, at 1 minute, I'll be showing the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll be showing the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I'll be showing the red card. And for the evaluation session, I'll be showing the green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and the red card at 3 minutes. I'll give my report at the general evaluation session. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujwal. Next up, we have the R counter, Toastmaster Dhanush.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests. So this is the first time I'm taking up this role, but the concept of the R counter was so intriguing for me for the first time when I came into the Toastmaster sessions. So I got myself so engraved in the concept. So every time someone was giving a speech or someone was even talking or giving a sales pitch, right? My mind used to go on to that particular word. I don't know if it happens to everyone, but it happens to me. It's happening to me also. So every time someone tells the R word, it's something, the background which goes is Toastmasters. I'm like, okay, go to Toastmasters. So coming down to the point of the rules of the pointers which we need to be in touch with. As a R counter, what I'll be doing is, the purpose of the R counter is to note any overused words or filler sounds used as crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, and you know Sounds may be like etc. I will give my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Anu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dhanush. Next up, we have the Grammarian Toastmaster Pavani.
Once again, a very good evening, everyone. Let me give you two examples. I and Sharanye are selected for the contest. I and Sharanye are punished. Do you think both are right or do you think both are wrong?
Wrong.
Okay, one of them is correct and one of them is right. So some of us have an assumption that I should be placed in the first, that is prioritizing yourself. But that's not right. When it is a positive situation, you should say Sharanye and I by not prioritizing yourself. But when it is a negative situation, you prioritize yourself first and tell I and Sharanye. So coming to the word of the day, nascent. So meaning is just coming into existence and beginning to display signs of future potential. One of the usages, they argue that strengthening of the currency would derail their nascent recovery. As a grammarian for today, I'll be making note of how many times the word of the day is used and good usages of grammar and not so good usages of grammar. I'll be giving my report during the general evaluation. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pavani. Last but not the least, we have the PP Evaluator, Toastmaster Balaji.
I am breaking a stereotype. This is finally the first G role, and what a great meet to take this up. And as PP evaluator, I'll definitely be watching the language that you're using, and of course, if you're using topics around sex, religion, and politics, I'll be pointing out the same. And if you are looking at walking out the room while a speaker is out here, I'll definitely be watching you. And if you're outside the room and you come in, then there is no applause. I definitely won't be watching you, but I'll be telling you about the same. Thank you, and back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Moving on to the first session, that is the prepared speech session, we have only one speaker today. But before I call upon the respective speaker, I request the individual evaluator, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, to read out the project guidelines.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my speaker. The speaker is presenting a speech on introduction to vocal variety and body language. The purpose statement. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance his speech. Notes for the evaluator. During the completion of this project, the member has spent time learning about and practicing their body language, including gestures and other non-verbal communication, along with their vocal variety, including pace, tone, pitch, and volume. The member will present a well-organized speech on any topic. And note to the general evaluator, I have received the evaluation and the project guidelines well in advance. Timer, please note the speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you, and back again.
The first speaker today is completing his level 1 project 3. He is a construction technologist working in Bengaluru. He believes that habits are more important than rules. His habits include reading books and watching movies, especially science fiction and fantasy. So with a huge round of applause, let us welcome the first speaker, Toastmaster Raja, with a speech titled Liberating Your Potential.
Life is like a game of cards. You never know what you're presented with. Sometimes they are great, the other times when you look at these cards, you just want to put them down and bang your head on the wall. However, each one of us need to play this game of life. The question is, whatever you're presented with, are you making the next best move possible? Or are you shackled by the chains of fear, self-doubt, and panic that prevents you from winning the game? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to the guests. Death is the #1 fear anyone can have. But life of one person changed that perspective for me.
that if you have the opportunity to achieve greatness, the fear of death means nothing. Bethany Hamilton, she was born in Hawaii, and at the age of 3, she started surfing along with her father and brother. And at the age of 13, she became really good with surfing. And one day she was going for surfing with her belly down on the boat, swimming towards the wave. That is when a huge shark attacks her, bites her left arm. Immediately her father and brother saves her and rush her to the hospital. Almost 60% of the blood was gone, and her left arm was totally amputated. She was in the hospital for 30 days, but believe it or not, after 30 days again she is back to surfing, competing in a competition. She went on to become one of the greatest inspiration and a great surfer. So people ask her, Bethany, are you not afraid? Bethany, are you not afraid? You have so much courage. She said, courage does not mean I am not afraid. Courage means I don't let the fear stop me. Such a powerful words. Courage does not mean I am not afraid. Courage means I don't let the fear stop me. Now these are impactful words, and it got into my mind and then into my heart. A few years later, now my story. A few years back, I was giving an interview, and my interview was scheduled at 11 a.m. Just 1 or 2 hours before the interview, I have a habit. I like to go for a workout. I do some strength training. My wife makes fun of it, whether you're giving a role for a tech role or for a bouncer role. But I do that to be in a mental state. I'm very clear and I'm very confident during that interview. For that reason, I do that. So that particular day, around 9:30, 11 a.m. is my interview, and around 9:30 a.m. I just walked into my gym, clubhouse gym, and there was this lat pull down machine. I just stacked it entirely, not because some girl was there. I was just full of energy, so I just stacked it and I just pulled it. 1, 2, 3, boom. That string that was attached to the weight got cut. That entire weight landed on my head, and for the next 10 seconds, I don't know where I was. I thought I broke my skull. And I was thinking to myself, I was having a bad headache, and I was thinking to myself, Raja, this is the dumbest thing you can do before an important interview. And I slowly entered my home. I didn't tell my wife for obvious reasons. So I was sitting in the room, and I was thinking to myself, should I call this HR and tell her that I won't be able to make for this interview? But if I do that at the last moment, it is going to put a bad impression on me, and I may not even get that role. And it was an important role for me. So I was in a state of afraid and panic. That is when, again, these words come to my mind. That courage does not mean you're not afraid. Courage means you don't let the fear stop you. That day, I decided to put that pain in back of my head, and I went ahead with that interview, and I gave my best. Luckily, the pain subsided that evening, and I got that role in a month's time. The lesson is that whenever there is an opportunity, there will be always situations that will stop you from giving you the best. It could be in form of a person, it could be in form of a situation, or it could be your own mindset. And it could prevent you from giving the best. But I'm looking at all of you. I'm seeing through you. You know what I see? I see a best of the best within each one of you. So next time when you get that opportunity, I want you to unshackle those chains of fear, self-doubt, and panic, and liberate that best of the best within you, who will come forward, look at that opportunity in the eye and say, game on. Because when life gives you an opportunity and you use it well, you could end up getting all the kings in your hand. So let me put it in a fun way. Today, this Raja has all the Rajas in his hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja, for your speech. Here we mark the end to the first session. Moving on to the the most exciting and fun-filled session, that is the table topic session. Today's table topic master is a business analyst by profession. He is the youngest distinguished Toastmaster through Pathways, a record holder at Indian Book of Records, past area director and current Division C director. So with a huge round of applause, let us welcome the table topic master for today, distinguished Toastmaster Udanka.
How many of you here have witnessed table topics? One person speaking about topic and the next person comes and speaking on the other topic. Everyone, right? So let's have a little different way this time. So I'll be calling 6 of you here today and I'll be giving one topic. And let's see how people take upon the topic and have a discussion there. So it is almost similar to a panel discussion. So for this topic, before I tell out the topic, I would request all these 6 members to come here. I would first call Distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara, Distinguished Toastmaster U Bhat, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, Toastmaster Lakshmi, and Toastmaster Shiva for this. Yes.
It's a messy game. Just take this.
This session is first session right for this one.
So the topic for you all will be younger generation absorb technology faster. I repeat, younger generation absorbs the technology faster. So one of you start. I'll take your point and I'll pass it on to the next person. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Thank you, Table Topic Master, for that topic. Younger generation absorbs technology faster. I beg to differ. A good example, a couple of decades ago when we were in the US and I had 2 young children with me, my parents were here in Bangalore and they were new grandparents. You have no idea what new grandparents are like. They're extremely possessive about their grandkids. They want to know every day what they have eaten, what they have done, have they moved, have they taken a step, have they worn new clothes, did they try the dish that my mom had sent all the way there via somebody. So there are many things. So they want to be in constant touch with their grandkids. So my mother, who had never touched a computer before, got on the computer, learned how to send emails, learned how to do attachments, learned how to open the attachments and read what was given, and she started doing, and then she learned how to Skype. She learned how to do, in fact she went to a computer class. She was in Gujarat, by the way, during all this time. My dad used to work there, so she was in Gujarat, and she went to a computer class there, and believe it or not, learned how to do some coding in Visual Basic, because she wanted to be familiar with the computer, learn how it works, and be in touch with her grandkids. So I believe the motivation is far more important. It doesn't depend on the generation as much because everybody has the capacity to learn. So that's my take on it.
Thank you. So this is a reply from Customer Lakshmi. Her parents, being the older generation, have the motivation to learn things and could do some coding in the visual. So what would you take over as the response to Sai Snehal?
Thank you, Udan. The older generation, for a long time, were accustomed to a certain way of going about things, be it writing a letter down and putting it in the post office, or actually seeing the person rather than seeing over a video call. We come from a generation where emails, messages, video calls are everything that we have. It's mostly because when we were kids, we were given a number of opportunities and we were willing to learn all of these. It is the openness that we were ready to accept. Some changes, we thought that was the only ones because we were not used to writing letters or meeting person every single time because most of us stay far away from our grandparents. You're accustomed to seeing them over video calls over time. My grandfather, I don't see him that often, but I see him once in a while over a video call. Although he hesitated to see me over a video call, he keeps telling me, I don't want to see you over a video call, why don't you come down? It is practically impossible that every time he calls me, I cannot travel 400 kilometers to see him. Although I would love to, but it is not possible. Sometimes the technology has given us an opportunity to be well connected and be everywhere at the same time, and made the world a smaller place. This openness and willingness is what makes us adapt, maybe something that we all need to be willing to accept and adapt to technology, because the technology is something we cannot escape from. The more we adapt and the more we use it, we'll be able to progress with it directly and further. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Snehal. So to reiterate what Toastmaster Sai Snehal said, that the older generation would prefer the old method, or the method what they used to do it as in the younger generation. So is it so? How are you all open to the adoption of the newer generation or with the technology? Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster U Bhat.
Mr. Puppet Master and our panelists, I think I am the most authoritative person to talk about it, because I have seen the technology evolve over 8 decades, 2 centuries, 21st and 20th century, and 2 millennium, 2000 and before that. So that is my credential to talk about technology, and I have developed from the mental mathematics, what is the 12 into 13 is 156 is natural for me. If you ask a 4th standard or 5th standard boy, he will not be able to tell I can take a bet for 10,000 rupees. He will not be. Then I have gone to Clark's table, then to slide rule in engineering college. Before I could see a calculator, much after I graduated. And I saw my first computer many years after I graduated engineering. But we have taken to technology like fish to water. And it's a must. It's not. We may not be as good as the other the younger generation, but yes. But at the same time, now what's happening is, you can see what is happening to today's artificial intelligence, Chat GPT. You know what? The whole world is coming to a full circle. People are becoming idiots. I remember what Israeli historian Harari told. He is more bothered about the dangers of natural stupidity than of artificial intelligence. That is the state of affairs what's happening today. And when I look at this younger generation who are so much addicted to this technology and trying to ingest themselves, I only get one word to my mind. I just say, I-I-I-O, I say. You didn't get what is I-I-O. I-I-I-O. Intel inside, idiot outside.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster U Bhat. That was a really good take. So, summarizing what distinguished Toastmaster U Bhat told, artificial intelligence, the Chat GPT, which is well known, is taking over the rule and making us an idiot. Is it so, Toastmaster Shivaprasad?
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Udanka. Chat GPT is the latest trend that has come in, and everywhere you go, on Instagram, on YouTube, you see videos about this. Chat GPT, I gave this idea to Chat GPT, it managed to do it better than a human being. I gave this math problem to solve, IIT JEE problem to solve. I think it didn't solve IIT JEE problem, it is that difficult. I gave this school children's problem to the Chat GPT and it managed to solve it off. But tell me, can Chat GPT replace a human's touch? Right? Distinguished Toastmaster U Bhat sir used a phrase that the older generation has taken to technology like fish to water. Well, by that logic, my grandfather is a monkey, I guess. I remember back right from the days when the button phone had come in, right? My grandfather refused to take any of that. Wherever you're going, take that phone and go. Else, we'll know where you are. He would not accept Then came the smartphones. He said learn just basic things, calling, sending a message. He didn't do that, right? Or wear this Apple Watch so that we know where you are. And couple of years back, my grandfather goes on a walk somewhere and he fell down and he didn't have any electronic devices on him. Thankfully, somebody else from the village came to know that he was there and rescued him. If not for that, I don't know what we would have done, right? So I believe that the younger generation, on the other hand, is taking to technology much better, right? You go to my uncles and aunties' houses, they have these 5-10-year-old kids. They say, we just give him the phone, we just give her the phone, and she lets us do our work. But that kid, 7-8-year-old kids, you see what they are doing on the phone, right? There was this one boy playing Call of Duty. How complicated that game is, and 7-8-year-old boys playing Call of Duty. So the younger generation definitely takes to technology better because we're born into that, is what I feel. Back to you, Udanka.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiva. So summarizing what Toastmaster Shiva told, the older generation is kind of refusing the technology which might lead him to the problem, whereas the younger generation is able to adapt the technology faster and they're utilizing it. So what is the take on that, distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara?
Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters, I guess. It is not that younger versus older we are trying to put across. It's about adoption. And when it comes to adoption, younger people can, because their mind is not prejudiced the way he told, they have a clean slate to start with. They are learning directly onto the present. It's the older generation have some things that they have learned in a certain way. So they take time to catch up. It's the time taken to catch up is the one that we are discussing. Some people take it faster, some people slower. My father-in-law, who expired about 8 months back, he was 95. He could really explore the smartphone to the limit. And he could talk to anybody, anytime, send messages across. It's the way he adapted was that he went about the job of understanding what is the way it is designed in a methodical way. I want to put that word methodical way. And my daughter, when she was young, when I gave a feature phone in those days, 10 years back, maybe much earlier than that, she would, I would really tell her next day in the school, sleep first. No, she would just put the bedsheet on her face and she would continue to explore the new phone that was brought to the home. It's about the curiosity. It's not about older versus the younger. And now there was a discussion that I had. It was an intense discussion 3 months back on a New Year party recently. And there were quite a few software engineers, and some of them were from reputed ones. And the question was on ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. And what is exactly the difference was the thing. They said that somebody said that creativity and whole works, human touch and works like that. I said that is not about that. What are you going to do with ChatGPT? Let's ask ourselves. And one of the things that came was that I asked that person, he said he will put this question. I said it's not about question. The artificial intelligence is about decision making. Have you got all that? If I ask a question to the Google, it will give you a series of replies and even gives you a choice. Whereas the ChatGPT, you have to assign an assignment where decision is involved. Then you are going to test it to the limit. That's why recently ChatGPT passed a law exam with 60% mark, not 100%. The series of decisions are involved and it will keep on improvising. That comes to one particular issue. What is artificial intelligence as opposed to real intelligence? Okay? Intelligence is about learning from experience. Can the artificial intelligence do it? ChatGPT can do it? That is the question you have to ask. And that you have to challenge yourself against that in future. But I still want to really quote what Alvin Toffler had to say on this. He said, illiterates of the 21st century are not those who cannot read and write. Illiterates of the 21st century are going to be those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. I open to the discussion for
That was a really intake, learn, unlearn and relearn by distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara. Summarizing what he told, GPT or more known as artificial intelligence is not capable enough still, might be later on, but as of today it is not able to fulfill it to 100%, it's just at somewhere around 50 to 60%. So what's your take on that, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra?
Thank you, Table Topic Master. It is technology part is concerned. If I were to say that technology improvement is required very much, it helps, but it is not substitute for human intelligence. Why I say so? There are two things to be understood. One is meaning, other one is feeling. Nowadays, if I were to give an example, 30 years back, I used to remember 100 numbers, telephone numbers. I used to interact with people with lot of feeling. Today, with the advent of technology, what's really happening? There is a gap between human interaction. People are not able to understand each other properly. 8 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours, glued to the laptop or to the mobile, depending on the situation, no human interaction, no understanding of psychological process of human being at all. That is the reason we see today, unfortunately in society, lot of divorces are taking place. Can anybody imagine? Go and say in respective courts, you will understand that. It is very, very important to understand the feeling part of it. Corresponding with that of meaning, then only we will have a meaningful life where we feel for ourselves and for the others, keeping in mind only the usage part of technology. Technology can be used, but not a substitute for human life. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, for taking on that thing. As yes, feelings are and the human connection with what we do works are really important, and what the artificial intelligence is doing out. With that, thank you everybody who helped me on with this. I will ask you to take your seats. Okay, so we have completed the panel discussion or a debate or the group discussion, whatever you want to name it as, but I would just like to say one thing at the end. So, few younger people are there who grab technology faster because of the curiosity or the ability what they have, or few older generation, yes, they are still improvising on what they are learning, as very well reiterated by distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara. Learn, relearn and unlearn. So this is all I had to come to a conclusion with the topic. So for all those who think today it was a panel discussion and yes, I was not called up, I'm relaxing now behind the lectern. No, I still have topics, individual topics for you all there, sitting out there, who still can come back, talk for 2 minutes and then relax. So let's quickly get started for that. And for that, I have a few stereotypes which is very well used in the college or schools. So I will start off with that, and I'll call up a few members for that. The first one is nerd. N-E-R-D, nerd. The topic goes to Toastmaster Pavani.
Very good evening, everyone. So the stereotypes about the nerd, that is the topic. Am I right? Yeah. So if you're a nerd, they think you'll sit in the first bench and you will have a spectacles. But there are a lot of people without spectacles and sitting in the last bench who are nerds. And one of them was our friend. So I was just telling. Yeah. And if I want to talk about her. She was a person who was very silent, and every time she used to get more than us. And she was with us only. I don't know how she used to get more than us, but she used to study well, and I feel she was a nerd only, and she was not having any spectacles, or she was not sitting in the first bench. She was with our mischievous gang only. So that's my take on the topic. Thank you.
That was a fun response. Since you mentioned about the backbencher, why don't we have the topic backbencher, which is one of the famous stereotyper, and the topic goes to Toastmaster Dhanush.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. The stereotype of being a backbencher, right? I never got the concept of being in the back bench, being in the front bench, and all of those things. For me, entering class was a huge headache. First of all. Second was wherever I found the seat, I used to go sit. So that was my thing, right? But I always saw this particular scenario wherein the naughty guys came into the backbenchers, and the nerdy ones, as you told, they are in the front bench. So I don't believe in that. And also, like, there is no IQ level match on whatever it says. Like, it's person to person is what I believe in. And also, there's a huge stereotype saying that there are some people who tend to have who sit in the backbenchers are the most naughtiest one, but also the smartest one, who tend to lead a company. There's one stereotype which runs on Instagram and all of those things. Like the front bencher are the best employable person, and the one who's sitting in the backbench are the ones who are hiring them. So there's one stereotype which is there on that particular aspect as well. But there's a joke behind it wherein it says the people sitting behind the backbenchers are the people who run the country. So, according to that, I'm done with my topic. Thank you so much.
I think I got a next topic from that. Last benchers run the country. Relax, I won't take that. Moving on with the next stereotype, what we have in colleges, overachiever. Overachiever, Toastmaster Shriram.
Well, I felt this was something like custom. So, very good evening, fellow Toastmaster. Thanks a lot, Table Topic Master. So, this happened to me in 2020. Like, the COVID struck, and the entire country or the entire world is, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I can do in the next 6 months. I don't know if I'm going to study, and everyone's doing one or the other thing. That's when I figured out a way in life where I had something like a breakthrough, which is I study in a college called Transit Group of Institutions, where I had a breakthrough. I started something called a student council. This place made me achieve something and get confidence in life. At the same time, post that 6 months, I got into Toastmasters. Post, I became the club president. I chartered a club under Transcend, and I was the charter president. Later, 6 months down the line, in July 1st, I'm the area director of Area C3 for District 121. All of these things are happening, and one thing I can say is overachievers is a very, 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 stereotypic term, because every single person has their own thing to do. And if you are doing something like you're in a good position, role, whatever it may be, doesn't mean you're an overachiever at the end of the day. For me as a person, what is overachieving is sleeping for 18 hours a day, which I really can't, where I work for 18 hours a day and I can't sleep for 18 hours a day, and I achieve something and I'm happy with what I am doing. And end of the day, what matters is you being happy, you leading a life the way you want it to be, you leading a life where you are not trying to please people. That is what makes you become an overachiever. And back to the Table Topic Master.
That was a really good topic, Toastmaster Shriram. Moving on with the next stereotype, what we have. It's common in schools. The teacher's pet. The teacher's pet. Toastmaster Saipriya.
Hello, Mekanians. Teacher's pet. Yes, right from school days I am a teacher's pet, including even now. Anywhere I go, it's really amazing. I am every teacher's pet out there. So it started from my nursery, from playhome, and I am still in touch with my playhome teacher. I am still in touch with some of my school teachers. Yeah, college teachers unfortunately couldn't get their number. And I am very happy being a teacher's pet. I am proud of being a teacher's pet. That was my dream kind of, right from the age of 3 when I started studying, and I am happy I have achieved it, and I am very grateful for that teacher to have taken me as her pet, and I am very privileged to be her pet. So some of the sweet memories I have is, to begin with, it started from my 6th standard, where my teacher loved me so much that she used to take special classes for me. And then going on to my PU days, I used to have a mini snack, because lunch we can't have with our teachers anyway, but she would have her lunch. So she gave me a big bar of chocolate and told, enjoy. So I had it with her and we had a chat. It was really nice, productive time spent. I discussed about my career and my lessons, and also we had a kind of a friendly chat. And she was a really nice person whom I came across in my PU. And now I am my teacher's pet even in the leadership program I am attending from Sri Sathya Sai University, Puttaparthi, Prashanthi Nilayam campus. And for me, he eased out the norms, which I really liked very much. And it also put down my stress levels a bit. Thank you, and back to the table topic, master.
So that's really nice to hear that you are still in touch with your teachers. Moving on with the next stereotype, class representative. Class representative, Toastmaster Ujwal.
A very good evening once again to all the fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Table Topic Master, for giving me this topic. At last I got my favorite topic. So yeah, class representative. Right from my childhood, during my school time, during my school days, I was not able to get this class representative role. But then once in 10th, by becoming lucky, I got as a class representative. I was made as a class representative, but it was not for a much time. It was for 2 months. But then, as I went to the college, there, I have to tell you how that memorable day it was, because in front of about, if I'm not wrong, 250 audience, in front of them, our teacher, Toastmaster Siddharth sir, he picked up 2 names that were, that's when I was, my roll number was there. So I was admitted as the class representative for my class, and thereon, I was being called for each and every, discussions which was keep on happening in our college. And then for every projects, I was the main person. I used to collect all the assignments. My friends used to make fun of me because, you're making, the college is doing work, making you to work. But then I didn't feel so, because I used to love being a class representative from first, and I used to love doing that work. So yeah, I was enjoying it. So luckily for the both the years, that is first PU and the second PU, I was made as a class representative. So it was a memorable PU, I would say. Thank you, and back to you, Udanka.
with respect to school or college divisions, I have one last stereotype left. The loner. The loner. Toastmaster Sushruth.
Thank you. Today is a very contradictory day for me. I went to the job, I didn't have work. I came out early so that I could come early to Toastmaster. I came late. And I didn't want to take up the topics, and when the group discussion happened, I was happy. So the topic is loner, right? I wasn't a loner, but I was a loner. As every kid who want to break the stereotype, even the first day of the college, I went to the college like a stud who wanted to break the stereotype and be the nascent for all the girls in the college with jackets on and some money in the pockets and all. And again, as this day, that day was also contradictory. I became a loner. The money in my pocket was empty because I became a loner again. That's it, and back to
That was creatively handled, Toastmaster Shriram. So I have few more topics which you have heard everywhere or most of the time. So I have few of them now. The most popular one are men are instinctively brave. Men are instinctively brave. Toastmaster Jyothi Rao.
Thank you, table topic master, for the topic men are brave. For all the men who are here, do you all agree with it?
We are not brave enough to say so.
I think women are also equally brave. Bravery depends on the situation or the depth of it. In fact, bravery, if we see, we have Rani Lakshmi by Jhansi Ki Rani, and many other are also there. I have seen men who are like scared of rats and lizards, and I used to play with them in my hand. So who are we talking about for bravery? And there are men who like are scared to try new dishes, and we are the one who try preparing new dishes. So bravery does not come with any gender. I think bravery is more of a personal, personal courage to venture out for something new and different, irrespective of the fact that whether we win or we lose or we go through it or not. I think that is more of a bravery, and well, we can break the stereotypes of saying that men are brave and women are not, or men are stronger, women are not, or women are more stronger emotionally and men are not, because that is also not true. Emotionally, men are strong nowadays in many cases, which we can talk about later. Thanks.
Let's not talk about it. Let's just move on to the next one. Real men don't cry. Real men don't cry. Toastmaster Balaji is.
What a great topic. this topic is now putting me to the thought, am I real? If I am real, am I man enough? Because crying, I think it does happen. And just like there is a woman behind every man's success, there is also the same woman behind every man's tears. So real men don't cry. I honestly would like to disagree to this statement. Though I'm not a big fan of crying, I wouldn't really consider myself to be a real man just for the fact I'm not crying. And crying, sometimes the crying that you see is the water that's coming out of someone's eye. I think you should be extremely real for that to happen. What the problem I have is the tears that are not coming out of the person's eye. Because that's where I see the problem. And that's where I see the real concern. There are so many people who are holding back their tears saying, "Mard ko dard nahi hota hai." Right? These are the statements that are just put out there to make a man feel superior. Sabko dard hota hai. Agar dard, if dard doesn't happen, take a small safety pin and poke yourself. Right? It will definitely hurt you, it will definitely pain. So real men, real women, if you really feel like crying, cry it out. If you're really shy about it, maybe get a room. If you're really wondering how to go about your emotions, meet a professional. But end of the day, definitely find help. If you're able to manage yourself, great. If you're not, you're just 500 rupees away from a great consultancy. If it's me, it's for free.
That's a creative way of talking and definitely a good marketing too. Moving on to the next topic. Poor people are not working hard. Poor people aren't working hard. Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa.
Ellarigu namaskara. The subject given is poor people are not working hard. I would like to take a midway on this one. I have seen many people, if you visit the city market, the way they are working, the way they carry the 100 kg bag and put it there, at the end of the day what they earn, according to my estimation, any labor can earn in Bangalore somewhere between 800 to 1000 rupees. And what he does in the evening, I leave it to your imagination. Say other people, there are a lot of chances. When I was standing in a footpath, one man came and asked, "Sir, give me 10 rupees. I said, why should I give you 10 rupees? Let me know. Are you a layman or you don't want work? Sir, give me 10 rupees. Then I reluctant to give him 10 rupees. Then he said, my chappal's ring has gone bad. Give me 10 rupees, I will get it stitched. See how they do it. There is no dearth for money. I tell all the people, there is no work for them. There is a lot of work for the people. If you take example, if any lady comes for working 1 hour or 2 hours, I think you may be shelling down about 600 to 700 rupees per month. Am I correct? So for working 1 hour, working in a house, you are paying, and there are a lot of chances are there. They don't want to work. They want simply the other man's money to enjoy for that one. On one side, I see people working hard. Other side, I see people not working this one. So this is the disparity I am seeing. Generally, if you are in a city like Bangalore or in a two-tier cities, you can make more money, and there is no problem in living certainly a dignified life here. That's my take on the subject. So nothing like poor man or this thing. You have to work. There is no way for that. You have to work smartly, and get on with your life and live happily. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was a great take on the topic. Moving on to the final topic for the evening. People without a degree are not smart enough. People without a degree are not smart enough. Toastmaster Mohnish.
Very good evening to my
fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, and thank you Toastmaster Udanka for the topic. People without a degree are not smart enough. That is the most, are not smart enough. I think the people who don't have a degree are the smartest people. And we've seen real life cases where you've seen people who are successful because they don't have a degree. And I know a couple of people who were pretty big. And one thing they told me, I was in a dilemma after my engineering. I was in a dilemma if I should do MBA or if I should, just start with a job. So this person who's an industrialist, he's from Coimbatore. So what he told me was, I did an MBA. It took me 2 years to do the MBA, and it took me 4 years to unlearn what I learned, to help me in my business. So, and what he said was, degree really doesn't help. Probably just starting off, it might get you a good job in the start. But after that is what you learn and how you execute, and mainly how you manage people and how you get the work done. So that is something that has stuck with me, and I have, my dreams of MBAs, I really don't regret it. And I feel this is the right time for, to stay in India, and, even if you don't have a degree, it's okay. There's a lot of opportunities coming to India. So India apparently, has the biggest GDP growth rate this year, whereas others are shrinking. So this is the best time to be alive in India, and this is the best time to make opportunities. Even if you don't have a degree, that is the best part of it. Nobody really cares. So back to you. Thank you, Toastmaster Mohnish. So that was the final topic for the evening, and we are done with this session. With that, I'll hand over the charge back to the Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Udanka. Now let us have a short break, networking session, and let us break the stereotype of coming late by being early. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Coming to the most important session of the evening, that is the evaluation session. Today's general evaluator is a growth marketing analyst at Kalagato. She is an engineer with MBA degree. She serves as an A2 area director and was PR chair for Encore 2023. She loves reading and watching movies. With a huge round of applause, please help me welcome today's general evaluator, Toastmaster Sindhushree. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. To start off with today's meeting, I must say the business session went on really well with respect to the announcement from the VPPR and from the VP membership with respect to the renewals. And to proceed forward from the Sergeant at Arms for the day, that is Toastmaster Sharanye, I really liked how you brought the connecting the stereotype to the breaking rules topic. That was really well done. And you introduced the precedent that you do that every week in a very positive and a very new way. That is good on you again. And your introduction was very concise and short. You did not bring any personal stories and drag on about it. That's something that I really loved about you. But I have a small suggestion from my end. That is, you could bring in a lot of enthusiasm to the meeting. Because you're the first person who comes on the stage and sets the meeting to the order. So when you come here, you could add in a smile, or you could start off with a great bang and tell, "Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests." Something like that. And that could bring a lot of interaction or set all the mood of the people who are attending today's session. So to proceed forward, I would like to later speak about President of job very well done, talking about breaking a lot of stereotypes, and thank you for your valuable input. And later I'll come back to the MC in the end. To proceed forward with today's session, I would like to welcome the evaluator for Toastmaster Raja's speech, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, to provide his valuable feedback.
General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmaster Raja, liberate your potential. Toastmaster Raja, your speech today was something exceptionally of what you have gained, learned, unlearned, relearned over the months of you being a Toastmaster for all this while. Your speech was something that you portrayed the way of vocal variety and body language from having your both the hands in the pocket to using the gestures that sync with the speech was something truly remarkable. You started off by showing a deck of cards and saying, how each card and what they signify. Your story was something I really like. Usually when a person behind the lectern starts off their speech, they say a line or two before actually introducing or welcoming the audience. But you had a really nice opening, an opening that made us want to listen to you and stay connected throughout the speech, and then you broke the momentum and broke into the speech of what you exactly wanted to say. This opening is what the truly a barrier that could break, and you have truly, because initially when I used to observe you do it, you were really not very confident in that opening part of the speech. You were a little hesitant to put across what you wanted to say, but today, a job well done. Since this project is want me to focus on the vocal variety and the body language, your body language was in sync with what you were trying to say. When you had to say a quote from the Bethany's example, you moved aside to state the example. And when you had something else to say, you went over to the other side. You were trying to bring in a number of elements, number of people in the picture, and you wanted to showcase that it's coming from a different angle and not from you. That was really good. One suggestion that I have for the vocal variety is, initially when you were speaking in the earlier days, your voice was always in the high pitch. Now it's come down, but there is a lack of variety. Maybe what you can try to do is, when you're trying to say something important like a quote, make it sound slow, steady, important. That will help the audience know it's an important quote and understand and pay extreme attention to it. Maybe you're saying something about the death part, maybe. Death is something we're all scared of. Try to reduce your pitch in certain situations where people know this is something sad and emotional. When you use such kind of vocal variety and understand how well you can put it across, that will help you gain the audience attention. Although you did have them throughout, this will help it an extra notch. One part I noticed is, whenever you try to bring out a story, I will tell you a story about myself. Avoid doing that. Let the audience be in for a surprise. A few years ago, I was doing this. People automatically relate that it is about you and get connected to the story. When you tell, I'm going to tell you about a story, the connect between what you're going to say and what you say will be lacking. Maybe you can now try to avoid that. Maybe these are things that you may want to work upon, and although there are not 5 kings possible in a deck of cards, you will be the 5th king behind the lectern. Great speech, work on your vocal variety, and body language is on perfect. Try to give more speeches, not just in the script, but actually in person. That will help you understand. One special mention I want to do is, you are aware of the audience you're trying to present the speech to. Coming from the background that I'm aware of, it's really hard to really blend in and give that speech. You stand out by blending in, and that's really great. Thank you, and back to the general.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sai Snehal. That was actually an in-detailed evaluation, but I have a few points on how you could present it a little bit better. So when you're talking to the speaker directly, you're talking to him about how he can improve from compared to before and now how he can proceed to the forward days. But you're also representing the entire audience over here. A lot of people in the session heard his speech. A lot of people related with him. A lot of people had a takeaway or a carry back message. A lot of people in the session are also probably attempting the same pathway or same speech somewhere in the future days. So what is your take on that particular things? Because when you're giving a feedback, you're not just giving a feedback to that one person in the stage. It's a feedback to everyone who's attending the session. So when you're trying to tell him what went well, what can go, what can be way better in the future, probably break it down for what are you giving it for the days, and what is a good thing that he did on the stage today, what he can do better, and one thing that he can challenge upon himself. And by doing it, so you're not only giving him the feedback, but you're also encouraging a lot of members and giving them a points on what they can do when they are attempting a similar speech. And thank you, a job very well done. I hope you got a valuable feedback. So can we have a big round of applause for both the feedback and the I would like to now welcome the supportive pillars for this particular meeting, that is the timer to give his report on the time for us. Can I please have Toastmaster Ujwal on the stage?
Once again, a very good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. The business session went on for 4 minutes. The sergeant items, Toastmaster Sharanye, took 2 minutes 9 seconds, but the time allotted was 2 minutes. The introduction of the guest went on for 45 seconds. The report of the previous minutes of the meeting, read out by Toastmaster Pavani, went on for 2 minutes 28 seconds, but the time allotted was 2 minutes. Presidential address was allotted 5 minutes and Toastmaster Gaurav has taken 4 minutes 9 seconds. Introduction of Toastmaster of the day was allotted 1 minute and was taken 15 seconds. Coming to the Master of Ceremonies, the initial part was allotted 10 minutes and Toastmaster Suprabha has taken 9 minutes 15 seconds, and overall the MC has taken 33 minutes. In the prepared speech session, Toastmaster Raja has taken 5 minutes 29 seconds. The table topic session went on for 43 minutes overall, but it was allotted 20 minutes. We had 16 speakers in total, where only 1 speaker spoke below 1 minute, 8 speakers spoke above 1 minute, and 7 speakers spoke above 2 minutes. The individual report is on the board. And coming to the networking break, went on for 13 minutes 7 seconds. Lastly, the individual evaluator, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, spoke for 3 minutes 53 seconds, and till now the general evaluator has taken 15 minutes. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ujwal. I would like to tell what went really nice in your role today. I loved your introduction to the timer role. How you brought you gave an example of how people broke stereotypes in a time, century wise, and later related to the timing role, and I really loved it. And a clear demonstration of time throughout the meeting, and you've given a clear breakdown of it. A job very well done. Can we have a big round of applause, Toastmaster Ujwal? I would like to welcome the counter, Toastmaster Dhanush, on stage, please.
Once again, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. So, today I've taken the job of the R counter, and I'll read out my results. The sergeant at arms Sharanye had 2 hours. Acting President Toastmaster Gaurav 1 hour. Toastmaster for the day Suprabha 3 hours. Timer Ujwal 1 hour. Grammarian Pavani 2 hours. Speeches by speech 1, the Toastmaster Raja 2 hours and 3 repeated words. Evaluator Sai Snehal 3 hours. And because we had around 16 speakers, I've just broken down into the number of people who have single hours and multiple hours. So DTM Udanka, DTM U Bhat, Toastmaster Pavani, Toastmaster Shriram, Balaji and Mohnish had 1 hour. Toastmaster Saipriya had 2. Saipriya and Sindhu had 2 hours, and Saipriya in specific had 7 repeated words. Toastmaster Lakshmi, Shivaprasad, DTM Prabhakara, Toastmaster Sai Snehal had 3 hours. Toastmaster Sushruth and Toastmaster Ujwal had 5 hours. Jyothi had 8 hours. 8 hours and 2 repeated words. Thank you, and hope I did a good job.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dhanush. I really liked your enthusiasm when you came forward to the R counter role. I must say that is also one of my favorite roles in the meeting forever. So what I would like to give a small feedback to you with respect to the R counter role is, we have this concept called a CRPF, that is crutch, repetitive pauses and fillers. When a person uses in his particular statements or his speech, it's not just as such. There are a lot of other words which we add in to fill the silence. For example, crutch words where it comes as and repetitive words where a speaker consistently uses you know, am I right, you are right, something like that, which is very specific to a particular speaker. And also pauses. Somewhere people use long unnecessary pauses, or somewhere people use short pauses, which is not relevant to their speeches. Probably that can also be evaluator. A filler word. For example, a lot of people use and, or lit, something like that, very conjunction words, which is not necessarily required in a particular statement. These are something that we usually
follow once in a while. This is not just for Toastmaster Dhanush. Anyone who's taking up a counter role in the future days can probably keep a mind of all these crotch repetitive pauses and fillers. That could also go a long way in improving your speech and a job very well done. Can I have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Dhanush for I would like to welcome the grammar teacher for the day, that is Toastmaster Pavani, on the stage. Please to be welcome.
A very good evening, everyone. Coming to the good usages: shackled, amputated, substanted, accustomed, fish to water, advent, disparity. I could just find one not so good usage. Feeling part of it could have been for feelings. And coming to the word of the day, it was used only by Toastmaster Sushruth. And back to General Manager.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pavani. What I really liked about Toastmaster Pavani's role today was she gave a very relevant example, including the speaker in the meeting today, that is Toastmaster Sharanye. That is something that I've not seen very often, because the common role for Grammarian is used to introduce the word of the day, give an example, speak about its usage, and count it number of times the people use. But you brought in a special element today and explained the positive and the negative usage of that particular as a grammar thing, and that was really good on you. And can we have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Pavani? I would like to welcome the PP Evaluator, Toastmaster Balaji, on the stage, please.
Okay, I'm going to take 2 minutes, keeping in mind the essence of Toastmasters and especially the PP's role in any club for that matter, because this I needed a lot of clarity about this myself, and in our club we have a lot of clarity on the same, but today it should have been a disaster day for the PP Evaluator for the amount of conversations around men and women. Now, however, I wouldn't really be calling out any of it for just the following paragraph that I am reading out from the Toastmasters website. Toastmasters International recognizes that club members may learn much about the world around them from listening to others' speeches on a variety of subjects. This variety can add interest to club meetings and stimulates thoughts and ideas. For these reasons, Toastmasters International does not place restrictions on topics, content, or language in any speech. Toastmasters International also recognizes that a club comprises a diverse group of people and recommends that members be mindful of this diversity, using good taste and sensitivity when selecting speech topics, content, and language. Now, why did I read this off the website itself? Because we keep getting varied answers for this one question: how do I use this? And what is good taste? To what extent can I go with it? Can I say it this way, or can I say it that way? And that's why I really liked Mekon Club's take on this topic. Because when I joined Mekon, it became very clear for me that we will not be talking around sex, religion, politics at all. Why? Because what is good taste? Something that's in good taste for you might not be in the right taste for someone else. The extent of bravery that Jyothi ma'am took was in fantastic taste. Might not be the same for maybe another individual who has got more narcissistic thought process. What you're saying could be extremely knowledgeable. We have the world to talk about these topics. So that's why I'm gonna reiterate myself and tell this out again. I like Mekon's take of just avoiding these topics. Why? We are here to grow, we are here to learn, and culturally we understand each other. So there is no clause of we being culturally diverse. Considering we are being from the same culture, our thought processes are diverse, and let's not dwell into that and invest much time, because we do that on a day-to-day basis everywhere. As a social science teacher, I do that 10 hours a day. So that's why I would say, as per Mecon's take, let's avoid topics around sex, religion and politics, and that would be my take on today's PPE evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster Balaji. Nothing to add from my end. Let's proceed forward. So let's speak about the two major roles for the day, that is the MC Toastmaster of the day, that is Toastmaster Suprabha. I really liked your presence on the stage. It was very calm, soothing whenever you came on the stage and introducing the speakers. And also the job, like I just covered the part that went really well from your end. That is, you introduce a speaker and you spoke about, you introduced him with a title. You explained the 3 sections of the Toastmaster meeting, and you connected the theme to the Toastmaster introduction that we generally speak about, that is largely smartly. Everything, job very well done. I have a small suggestion for you from my end. That is, you can connect the theme a lot more. For example, when you're introducing the speaker on the stage, before he comes on stage, you can just ask him personally, what is your take on the theme? That way, you're not even taking a lot of time on the stage explaining a lot about yourself or the theme, but you're in actually bringing his thought process on the stage. And this is something that every person who takes on the stage or introducing a next person, you can probably incorporate, is what I believe. For example, Toastmaster Sharanye, when introducing Toastmaster Gaurav in every single meeting, you try to bring something innovative. What if you can just ask him before the meeting, what is your take on the theme, breaking stereotypes? So you can incorporate that in his introduction, and by doing that, I think every other meeting we get to know something new about a person who's taking on the stage. And also, when you're introducing a speaker with a title, we have a common norm that we follow, that is speaker, title, title, speaker. For example, if I'm talking about breaking stereotypes, it would be like Toastmaster Sindhushree, breaking stereotypes, Toastmaster Sindhushree. This is a formal way in which we just call the speaker up on the stage so that it can proceed forward. Apart from that, a job really amazing, well done, and kudos to you. I request everyone in the audience to please give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Suprabha. To proceed, let's talk about the table topic master for the day, that is DTM Udanka and Jain. The first thing that I would like to tell is great, innovative and great adaptive. You just adapted to the situation. You showed us by example how to learn, unlearn and relearn for today's meeting. Kudos to you. Can we have a big round of applause from all the people of we have something like, we have a concept called as product market fit in our marketing, where we should test whether the product we're trying to introduce in the market is fitting the market with all types of demographic and everything. So if from your perspective, I would like to say your topics for the day was topics pick of it. Every time you introduce, like it could be for nerd, Pavani was able to talk about the topic. For loner, Sushruth was able to talk about the topic. Or for the overachiever, our AD Toastmaster Shriram was able to go in length and breadth about the topic. So I would like to say it was a perfect topics pick of it. But the one thing that I want you to actually be mindful or remember about is, you did not speak about the table topic session. You did not introduce. For the benefit, we understand that we have very less guests today. All of them are members of the club, and we don't have much guests. But it would be in the benefit of the members who are very new to understand what is table topic session, what do you do over here, what is the break amount of time a person gets. All this could be reiterated. And also, the way you were adapted to the situation of including a panel discussion over here. But I would like to know whether you should have been more precise about what is happening or more clear. For people who are very new, we did not know why 6 speakers were suddenly called upon the stage, or what was the main topic that they were talking about. We could understand that you were moderating the entire situation over here. We have 6 speakers who were giving their thought process of what is happening around. We have K Prabhakara, U Bhat and Lakshmi and so on, with everybody talking about a specific topic. But what exactly was the entire session about? What is a group? If it is a group discussion, it was a panel discussion, or what was it? So it would have been nice if you were a bit more clear about what exactly was it and how different was it from the table topic session, because you were termed as a table topic master for the day. That was the one thing that was missing from your role. But apart from that, it was a job very well done, and I must say I really enjoyed your session because everyone in the audience thoroughly enjoyed all the topics, and thanks to you. Can we have a big round of applause to Vijay Upendra? I request all the members to vote for your favorite Raji roles or speakers and everything, and thank you so much. And I shall take my leave, and I would like to call Toastmaster Suprabha on the stage back.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sindhushree. I hope you all had a great time in the meeting, listening and learning. Remember one thing, you have the power to break a stereotype because your voice matters too. Suno sabki, karo apni. On that note, I'll hand over the charge back to the president.
Such a dreadful clap, man. Like, why this guy came again?
Many have voted has to be. Many have voted just to check, announce it also.
Yeah,
Lalana is to do it. Otherwise, you have to wait. Because it was told in the last minute.
Well, we have got 19 responses, so I'm hoping everyone has voted. And before I come to the votes, thank you everyone, and thanks to DTM Udanka, because due to one speaker unavailable, he took it on spot to have that panel discussion. So a huge round of applause for him. Okay, so coming to the results, I preferably go speakers and evaluators at the end, but today there was only one speaker and one evaluator. But still, I think you guys can see me. Okay, so even though there was one speaker and one evaluator, we always believe they are always the best speaker and best evaluator. So the best speaker goes to Toastmasters. And best evaluator goes to Toastmasters Sai Snehal. Coming to the best role taker for MTG, it goes to our table topic master DTM Udanka. And the best tab G, it goes to the veteran Toastmaster Dhanush. And coming to the best table topic response, I learned a very new thing that it goes to DTM. And thank you everyone. Thank you for coming. Just try coming a little more earlier so that we can start a little more. Of course, we ended way beyond time, but still a little more earlier. So thank you everyone. I close meeting number 1203, and I request everyone to wait for national anthem.